So I'm already seeing some criticism about this movie from people saying, oh, it's just Avatar for beavers. Oh, it's Avatar for furries. And like, sure, as true as that is, you're telling me that doesn't pique your interest just a little bit? Like a bonkers synopsis like that already has my butt in a seat day one. Hoppers is the latest animated movie from Pixar, and it's about a group of scientists discovering how to hop human consciousness into lifelike robotic animals, allowing people to communicate with animals as animals do. So animal lover Mabel seizes an opportunity to use the technology, uncovering a bunch of mysteries within the animal world beyond anything she could have possibly imagined. So being a dude in his 30s, obviously I grew up absolutely loving anything to do with Pixar movies. I mean, A Bug's Life, Toy Story, The Incredibles. It truly felt like it was banger after banger for a little while there with no end in sight. I mean, they couldn't miss. My goats couldn't miss. Now, obviously, these last 10 years, a little bit of a different story, definitely a rough patch. I mean, I guess you can't go out there and always throw your best stuff, but I don't think I've been truly entertained or satisfied with one of these Pixar movies since like Onward, and that was what, 6 years ago? Which is surprising in and of itself, just because I thought that one was gonna stink. But despite all that, there was something about this new movie that had me hopeful for the future. I mean, the animation style looked great, it seemed legitimately funny, and the idea was more creative than what they've been doing recently, so I was back on board. Your boy was back on board, ready to saddle up and see whatever the heck Pixar's been cooking for the last couple years. And I'm happy to report that Hoppers just hits the mark here, man. It's a good movie for the entire family, it has a positive message, and it's just an encouraging sign seeing Pixar getting back to doing more creative, weird, and wacky shit with their films. Definitely worth a trip to the theater for sure. When it comes to the story they decided to go with here, everything you've seen beforehand about this film is marketing it properly. I mean, the synopsis, the discourse, the trailers, they're all setting the tone as they should, because it kind of just is Avatar but for beavers, right? And I mean, it's impossible to say that and not envision what James Cameron would have done with this script. I mean, more explosions and family trauma than there already is. Don't act like you don't want to see that version of the movie. I want to see that version of the movie. But since this is an animated children's film not helmed by the great Big Jim, I was very curious to see how they were going to approach this concept and make it digestible to a much younger audience than me. But I think they did a good job simplifying it. Like, I would understand it if I were 6 years old in the audience watching this movie. They kind of beat you over the head with it, but it makes sense why. Like, they basically just say, okay, we take this and we put it in this. And you're like, okay, got it. Let's go. When it comes to the actual script and the overall story as a whole here for a second, I was definitely impressed with what we got here. I mean, sure, the themes that we're exploring aren't the most life-altering thing you've ever encountered, but they do an effective job creating a positive image around taking care of the environment, treating the planet like it belongs to everyone no matter what species you are. I mean, our main character goes on a worthwhile and entertaining journey. It's actually funny, and I just don't know what else you could possibly expect out of this thing than that. I guess making all of the beavers be motion capture performances and dropping them right into the middle of Pandora, but we can't always get what we want. When it comes to the performances in this movie, our lead character is voiced by an actress named Piper Curda. Legitimately never heard of her before in my life until this film, but there's some other well-known voices that are populating the characters that you're going to hear throughout this story. Meryl Streep, Dave Franco, Bobby Moynihan, John Hamm. Good eclectic group right there. The one I really got to give my flowers to here, though, is John Hamm. Like, he was seriously voice acting in this movie. He wasn't just going through the motions. I feel like he was out there actually earning his paycheck. At the beginning of the movie, I didn't even know he was the guy that was voicing the mayor. He was really laying on the enunciation. Like, every once in a while, you'd hear a sentence and you're like, okay, that's Don Draper. But for the most part, he did a really good job here. It also helps that the chemistry is super solid between Piper Curda as our main character and Bobby Moynihan, who plays like the king of the beavers, if you will. They're the relationship that you care about the most in this film. The comedy is gelling really well when they're together. So are those emotional moments. It just all works and falls into place when the two of them are talking to each other. Let's talk about the comedy involved in the film, because if you've heard me say it once, you've heard me say it 1,000 times. No movie genre is more on life support than the modern comedy, because no one wants to offend anybody anymore, so everything's super sanitized, or all the jokes are borrowed from other much funnier movies than the one that you're actually watching. And we can nip this in the bud right now. Obviously, the former isn't happening. I mean, we're talking about a Pixar film. They're not really doing anything too racy or offensive in this movie. movie, but the jokes are pretty out there and creative, which I have to give some props to. And they definitely have their fair share of well-written jokes in this movie, but the cream of the crop, the home run, the absolute slam dunk of this entire film experience is how effective they are with their visual gags. And you think about the premise of this film, right? It's so weird and kooky, taking people's consciousness and putting them into the body of a robot animal, and then those animals having their own hierarchies and societies themselves. It really lends itself to that type of weird comedy. And it's kind of hard to express and describe how truly impressive some of the visual gags are in this movie without spoiling a chunk of the entire thing for you. So just know this, when the apex predator shows up in the film, all bets are off, baby. Overall, guys, Hoppers is a big-time breath of fresh air when you consider the Pixar movies we've been getting in the last decade or so. It's super creative, it has laugh-out-loud funny moments, and the animation is top tier. Now, the themes don't revolve around the deepest subject matter you're ever going to come across, and it takes a little bit of time to find its footing at the beginning, but it's definitely a worthwhile journey that the whole family can enjoy, and I hope this is a sign of things to come for the future of Pixar movies again. We might be back, people. Hoppers gets a Sully score of 4 stars. So that's my review of the latest Pixar film. What do you think is the most underrated movie in their entire catalog? I know I brought it up earlier. I think I have to go with Onward here. Definitely doesn't get nearly as much love as I think it should, but let me know in the comments below what you think. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys at the next one.